Yes. Now we are going to study about the human brain. An adult brain weighs between 1 kg to 1.5 kg. Usually in male, it will be having a weight of 1500 gram, that is 1.5 kg, and in female 100 gram less, that is 1400 gram. Depending on gender also, weight of the brain depends, and it is mainly composed of neurons that we have learnt in the last class. The cells of a nervous systems are called neurons, and the whole brain consists many neurons, the fundamental unit of the brain and the nervous system. Recent estimates have suggested that the brain contains anywhere between 86 billion to 100 billion neurons. It is almost containing 100 billion neurons in it. The brain, along with the spinal cord, constitute the central nervous system. Central nervous system consists of brain as well as the spinal cord. It is responsible for thoughts, interpretation, and origin of control for the body movements. So all our body movements, internal as well as the external, is controlled by brain. The human brain controls nearly every aspect of human body, ranging from psychological function to the cognitive abilities. ಕಾಗ್ನಿಟಿವ್ ಅಂದರೆ ಬುದ್ಧಿಮತ್ತೆ. ನಿಮ್ಮ ಬ್ರೈನ್ ಎಷ್ಟು ಶಾರ್ಪ್ ಇದೆ, ನೀವೆಷ್ಟು ಹುಷಾರಿದ್ದೀರಿ ಅನ್ನೋದು ನಿಮ್ಮ ಬ್ರೈನ್ ಮೇಲೆ ಡಿಪೆಂಡ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ ಅಂತೀವಲ್ಲ. ಸೊ ದಿಸ್ ಇಸ್ ಆಲ್ಸೋ ಡಿಪೆಂಡ್ಸ್ ಆನ್ ಬ್ರೈನ್. It functions by receiving and sending signals via neurons to different parts of the body. Brain functions by receiving and sending signal via neurons to the different part of the body to carry out the different types of mechanism in the body. The human brain, just like most other mammals, has the same basic structure, but it is better developed than any other mammalian brain. Compared to other mammals, human brain is more developed. That's why we are called as the wiser. ಬುದ್ಧಿಜೀವಿ, ಮನುಷ್ಯನನ್ನು ಬುದ್ಧಿಜೀವಿ ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ. ಬೇರೆ ಯಾವ ಪ್ರಾಣಿಗಳಿಗೂ ಬುದ್ಧಿಜೀವಿ ಅಂತ ಕರೆಯಲ್ಲ. ಕಾರಣ ನಮ್ಮ ಬ್ರೈನ್ ಆ ಉಳಿದಂತಹ ಜೀವಿಗಳಲ್ಲಿರುವ ಬ್ರೈನಿಗಿಂತ ತುಂಬ ಶಾರ್ಪ್, ಡೆವಲಪ್ಡ್ ಆಗಿದೆ. ಅದಕ್ಕೋಸ್ಕರನೇ ಮನುಷ್ಯನನ್ನು ಬುದ್ಧಿಜೀವಿ ಅಂತ ಕರೀತಾರೆ. ನಾವು ಅದನ್ನು ಎಷ್ಟು ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಿರೋ ಅಷ್ಟು ಅದು ಡೆವಲಪ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂದರೆ ಅದು ರಸ್ಟ್ ಹಿಡ್ದಂಗೆ ವೇಸ್ಟ್ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಹೋಗುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ದಿಸ್ ಇಸ್ ದ ಡಯಾಗ್ರಾಮ್, ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ the parts of the human brain are given. See, this is forebrain. This the biggest one, largest part of the brain. This is a forebrain, and this is midbrain. This part is called as midbrain, and here it is pons, and this one is medulla oblongata, not omelette, it's medulla oblongata. Fifth one is spinal cord. The brain is connected to the spinal cord through here. Then sixth one, this is a hindbrain. Now we are going to see what are the different functions are done by this different part of the brain. As I said, forebrain is the largest one. Again, forebrain is divided into two types, or the two ways, left side and the right side one. Left side and the right side one. Parts of the human brain. The forebrain, which is the largest part of the brain, it is the anterior part, outermost one. The forebrain parts includes cerebrum, hypothalamus, and the thalamus. It consists of cerebrum, hypothalamus, and the thalamus. See, here you can see the forebrain. As I said, it is divided into two parts, that is left cerebral hemisphere and the right cerebral hemisphere. In the forebrain only there will be cerebral will be present. So that is, there are two things, left one and right one. So left cerebrum hemisphere controls the organs of the right side, and right cerebral hemisphere controls the organs of the left side. For example, if any left injury takes place, paralysis on the right side of the organ takes place, then it results in the damage of the left side. So what they are saying is, there are two things. One is left hemisphere, another one is right hemisphere. ನಮ್ಮ ಬಾಡಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ರೈಟ್ ಸೈಡಿಗೆ ಏನೇ ಡ್ಯಾಮೇಜ್ ಆದರೂ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಕಾರಣ ಲೆಫ್ಟ್ ಸೈಡ್ ಬ್ರೈನಲ್ಲಿ ಡ್ಯಾಮೇಜ್ ಬಂದಿದೆ ಅಂತೇಳಿ ಅರ್ಥ. ನಮ್ಮ ಬಾಡಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ರೈಟ್ ಸೈಡಿಗೆ ಏನೇ ಡ್ಯಾಮೇಜ್ ಆದರೂ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಕಾರಣ ಲೆಫ್ಟ್ ಸೈಡ್ ಬ್ರೈನಲ್ಲಿ ಡ್ಯಾಮೇಜ್ ಬಂದಿದೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ. ಸೊ ಪ್ಯಾರಾಲಿಸಿಸ್ ಅಟ್ಯಾಕ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಬಾಡಿಲಿ ಒಂದೇ ಲೆಫ್ಟ್ ಸೈಡ್ ಪಾರ್ಟ್ಸ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ವರ್ಕ್ ಆಗೋದು ನಿಲ್ಲಿಸುತ್ತೆ, ಅಥವಾ ರೈಟ್ ಸೈಡ್ ಪಾರ್ಟ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ವರ್ಕ್ ಆಗೋದು ನಿಲ್ಲಿಸುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ಈ ರೀತಿ ಲೆಫ್ಟ್ ಸೈಡ್ ಪಾರ್ಟಿಗೆ ಪ್ಯಾರಾಲಿಸಿಸ್ ಆಗಿದೆ ಅಂದರೆ ರೈಟ್ ಸೈಡ್ ಬ್ರೈನಲ್ಲಿ ಡ್ಯಾಮೇಜ್ ಆಗಿದೆ. ಸೊ ಯಾವ ಬ್ರೈನಲ್ಲಿ? ಸೆರಿಬ್ರಮಲ್ಲೇ ಆಗಿದೆ ಅಂತೇಳಿ, ವಿಚ್ ಕಂಟ್ರೋಲ್ಸ್ ದ ಬಾಡಿ ಮೂಮೆಂಟ್ಸ್. ಅದೇ ರೀತಿ ರೈಟ್ ಸೈಡಿಗೆ ಪ್ಯಾರಾಲಿಸಿಸ್ ಆಗಿದೆ ಅಂದರೆ ಲೆಫ್ಟ್ ಸೈಡ್ ಬ್ರೈನಿಗೆ ಎಫೆಕ್ಟ್ ಆಗಿದೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿಬಿಟ್ಟು ಅರ್ಥ. So here they mention forebrain consists of cerebrum, hypothalamus and thalamus. Forebrain consists the cerebrum as well and the olfactory lobes. It is the thinking part of the brain and controls the voluntary actions. Voluntary actions andre nama body parts movement, nadiyodirbaudu athwa hand movements. These all are voluntary ones. It controls touch, smell, hearing, taste, sight, mental activities like thinking, learning and memory, emotions, etc. All these are controlled by forebrain. So function of forebrain is to control the reproductive functions as well as body temperature, emotions, hunger and sleep. ಹಸಿವಾಗಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಕಾರಣ ಇಲ್ಲಿಂದ ಫೋರ್ಬ್ರೈನಿಂದ ಸಿಗ್ನಲ್ಸ್ ಬಂದಾಗ ನಾವು ಆ ಹಸಿವೆ ಅನ್ನೋ ಒಂದು ಫೀಲಿಂಗನ್ನು ರಿಯಲೈಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ. So one more fact about the forebrain is the largest among the forebrain part is the cerebrum. This one. This is the largest part of the forebrain, that is cerebrum. It is also the largest part of all vertebrate brains. Next is the second part, midbrain. This is the smallest and the central part of the brain. Midbrain, this one, smallest and central part of the brain. The midbrain consists of tectum and tegmentum. What it do? Midbrain controls the involuntary action and reflex movements of the head, neck, eyes, etc. So these all are involuntary movements. For example, if some diseases are like that, Parkinson disease. This is one disease called Parkinson disease. If that disease is there for a human being, then their head will start shaking without their control. They won't be knowing about their shaking of head. That is because of the symptoms of Parkinson disease. This is because this midbrain is affected. Next part is hindbrain. The lower part of the brain is called hindbrain and it is composed of cerebellum, medulla oblongata and pons. So cerebrum controls the body movements and balance and the posture. How we are walking, our walking style and the balance, how we are sitting and all. Posture of the body which is controlled by cerebellum. And pons controls the respiration and the facial expression. Respiration is controlled by pons. Even facial expression also results of pons. And medulla oblongata controls the heartbeat, blood pressure, swallowing, coughing, sneezing, vomiting. So all these involuntary one as well as the necessary for the organism, heartbeat and blood pressure, all these things are controlled by medulla oblongata. Hindbrain functions. These three regions of the hindbrain coordinates all processes necessary for survival. These induce breathing, heartbeat, sleep, wakefulness and motor learning. All this is controlled by hindbrain. Okay, now we are going to study about control and coordination in plants. We have already learnt about control and coordination in animals. Now, when we talk about control and coordination in plants, it's mainly related with the movements of the plants. So, movements in the plants are of two types. Which are those? One is nastic movement, another one is tropic movement. Nastic movement is also known as independent of growth, which is not related with the growth of the plant. Another one is a tropic movement. Tropic movement is dependent of growth, which is related with the growth of the plants, are called tropic movement. So one by one we are going to study about the types of the movements or the control, how the control and coordination is there in the plants. First one is independent of growth or the nastic movement. It is immediate response to the stimulus. We have already learned what is stimulus, how it is. It's just the action of an environment for which we are going to react. So when we respond immediately for the stimulus, that is independent of the growth in plants, is known, for example, touch me not plant. So which is a non-directional movement. There is no particular direction for the movement of the plant towards the stimulus, which are neither towards or away from the stimulus, and it does not depend on the growth. This movement is not at all dependent on growth of the plant. Plants use electrical and chemical means to convey information from cell to cell. As in human beings, there is a cell particularly for the transform of the information, that is neuron. Same way in plants there is no particular cells, but the same cells which is present in the plants that uses some electrical and chemical means for the information transform from one part to the another part. For movement to happen, cell changes their shape by changing the amount of water in them, resulting in swelling or shrinking of cells. Now in human body there is a blood which helps in transforming the one particular substance to the another part. Similarly, in plants there is no blood, but it has got plenty of water content in it. The same water content acts like blood in plant cells. So that amount of water present in particular cell changes when there is a stimulus. Any movement should be happened in plants. So when the amount of water changes in a cell, cell changes its shape, by which it shows some movement. For example, dropping of leaves of touch me not plant, and one more is swelling. You have learnt about how the stomata opens, the swelling of the stomata which regulates in the opening of the pores. So this is about independent of growth or the nastic movements which takes place in plants. Let's see one example for a immediate response to stimulus in a plant. An example for a plant. The name of the plant is Chuyumi, or it can be say touch me not plant. ಈ ರೀತಿ ಗಿಡ ನೀವು ನೋಡಿರ್ತೀರ, ನಾಚಿಕೆ ಮುಳ್ಳು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ ಅಲ್ವಾ. ಇಂಗ್ಲೀಷಲ್ಲಿ ಟಚ್ ಮಿ ನಾಟ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ, ಹಿಂದಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಚುಯುಮುಯಿ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ. ಸೊ ವಾಟ್ ಹ್ಯಾಪನ್ಸ್ ಇಫ್ ಯು ಟಚ್ ದಿಸ್ ಪ್ಲಾಂಟ್? ವಾಟ್ ಹ್ಯಾಪನ್ಸ್ ಟು ದಿಸ್ ಪ್ಲಾಂಟ್? ಜಸ್ಟ್ ಸಿ. I just touched a leaf of this plant and it started folding its leaf. And now you can see that I just touched here, but other parts of the plant has also just folded its leaf. This is because there is a sensitive impulses present in this plant which make this plant to fold its leaves when we touch this. So it is a stimulus response for a stimuli, immediate response for a stimulus. Here stimulus is other organism or a part of the thing is touched to a plant and it is showing a response by folding its leaves. There is no cells or the organs are present for it, but it is done by the movement of the water molecules present in this plant. You can see here, when it is open, the water molecule will be present in it, will be spread all over it. But when the movement has been taken place, this movement results in the movement of the water molecule to the other part. It results in this type of the response.